My name is Dante and this is Story Hub. I'm 36, female, have a daughter, Sadie tween, with my ex-husband John, 39. We divorced 5 years ago, and I have primary custody while he sees her 2 weekends a month. Last year he married Amanda, who has sole custody of her kids, tween and preteen females from a previous marriage. Amanda is a stay-at-home mom, not for any health reasons or so on. She just doesn't want to work while John works at a 19-5. He makes good money to support them, but not enough to live in luxury. I have a much higher paying job since it's just Sadie and me. I make sure she has the best possible life. She goes to a private school. I set up her college fund, and she has much better things than most kids' phones, clothes, etc. I still manage to raise her to be humble and not take things for granted, and she's one of the hardest working people I know, always ensuring good grades and keeping her room tidy. Well, the last few times she came back after a weekend at John's, I noticed that the clothes she was bringing back in a duffel were not her size, and much cheaper and poorer quality than I usually buy for her. I asked her why that is, and she told me that while she's at her dad's, Amanda takes her nice clothes and gives them to her kids, while Sadie gets the clothes from Target. I asked her if she wanted them back, but she said she didn't mind sharing since she kept all her favorite clothes here. The problem came when I went to pick her up last weekend. I had a business meeting and couldn't drive her over, so Amanda offered to pick Sadie up from school, which hadn't happened before. When I got there on Sunday, John and Amanda asked me to sit down with them, and when Sadie came to hug me, Amanda sent her to a room quite harshly, saying her punishment wasn't over yet. I was confused because Sadie very rarely misbehaves. They sat me down in the kitchen and said that it was unfair for Sadie to go to a private school while her kids go to a public one. So they decided that Sadie would be pulled out of private school and put in the same school as the girls. They also said I should keep up Sadie's punishment, because when they told her, she blew up at them, told them it wasn't fair, and yelled that Amanda and her kids weren't even her real family, that all they did was steal. I told them in no uncertain terms to screw off. I would not be pulling my child out of a school she likes away from her friends because they can't afford it. I told them they could easily make as much money as me if Amanda started working in her field because she has the qualifications and a good job market. I told them their money problems are not my issue, and if Sadie's items get stolen or they try to pull her out of school, I'll be taking this to court. They've been blowing up my phone ever since, calling me a selfish idiot. And after telling the story to a friend, he told me I was rubbing my success in their face. But I still don't feel like I did anything wrong. Still, am I an idiot? I think as a loving mother, you know the answer deep down in your heart, not the idiot. And well done for protecting your daughter. Keep this mama bear mood switched on. Out of all the adults involved, you're the only one fighting your kid's corner. Your daughter needs your support in this situation. The only thing I would have done differently is I had to take them to court already for stolen clothes. You let it go and now it keeps escalating. Because the real motive here is intense jealousy combined with laziness and questionable morality. To steal clothes instead of working. Yeah, that makes me want to vomit. So you're paying for her education and they want you to stop because Amanda's a bum. Good on you to tell them to screw off. Shame on them for using your daughter as a tool to hurt you. The clothes thing made me angry. Believe me, I can relate with my divorce, and it's ridiculous. But the private school thing, no way, no. The fact that your ex-husband and his wife are pieces of crap doesn't surprise me that this is their reaction. But you have a friend that would respond that way is no bueno. Friends are supposed to have your back. You work hard for your success, and being successful is not rubbing it in someone else's face. Update. I contacted my lawyer and we're starting the process of obtaining full custody. Really quick, if you're enjoying the video, don't forget to drop a like. I'm taking Sadie to a therapist so I can get permission to keep her with me, at least until the courts make their decision. Her next visit isn't for another couple of weeks, so assuming that everything goes according to plan, she shouldn't have to go back there unless she wants to. Now for the next story. I'm prefacing this by saying I am female, 30, always struggling with self-esteem. I'm an introverted, anxious, socially awkward person, which makes it worse. I got introduced to makeup during my late 20s, and it's now become both a source of income and a source of self-confidence and esteem. My now husband always teased me about it, my duties, a jokester, and is a bit on the sarcastic, brutally honest side. I didn't have an issue as long as it was done privately, meaning private teasing. At our wedding, I went a bit out of the box regarding makeup, but it looked matching and fitting. However, my husband didn't stop commenting on it during the wedding. I was beginning to get annoyed, but when it was time for his groom's speech, he looked at me and then said, "My wife here, who looks like a department store mannequin with that makeup on her face." I was dumbfounded. Guests started laughing at me loosely. I felt so much rage I didn't know how to contain it. I waited till his parents were around, then I went off on him about what he said. He said it was a joke and I took it too personally. I argued with him about how I felt regarding his teasing in public. But he insisted I blew this out of proportion and ruined the atmosphere for the wedding, as well as humiliated him in front of his parents when I scolded him like he was a kid. He sulked about it for 3 days, then told me that I needed to apologize for this negative vibe I brought upon him and for reacting insanely over a joke. I wonder if I overreacted. Dear, am I an idiot? Not an idiot. Embrace yourself for a lifetime of this BS. It'll always be him kicking you and then getting all hurt when you yelp. It always amazes me when people see the red flags for years and still decide to get married. OMG, he has the emotional intelligence of a soggy cloth. Making fun of his new bride in front of all our friends and family is just peak stupidity as well as being cruel. I would feel so awkward as a guest at this wedding. Even if you didn't have self-esteem issues and anxiety, that would have been a dumb move. And then he accuses her of bringing the negative vibes to the wedding. What? Even why would you want to stay married? Someone that announced to all of your friends and family that he doesn't like the way you chose to present yourself to the world. He said I took it too personally. It was literally a comment about your personal appearance. How are you not meant to take that personally? And I say comment and not joke because I don't understand what's meant to be the funny bit. Unless the idea of suggesting that you look ridiculous at your own wedding and encouraging a room full of people to laugh at your expense is somehow amusing to this cretin. You've married. Oh, get that marriage annulled. Now for the next story. I've been married to Stella for 7 years now. We have 5 children, daughters from my previous relationship. Kiara and May, a son and a daughter from Stella, Brianna and Jadon, and a son together, Lucas toddler. My 2 are in 50-50 custody, while my stepchildren only see their bio father every second weekend. My wife and I agreed to split finances and have mostly kept them separate, aside from a joint account for essentials bills, groceries, house, etc. We both used to be high earners, though we had terrible hours when parental leave for Lucas was finishing. Our children begged us not to go back to work, that they hated the before and after school care and wanted us in the end. My wife returned, but I quit and got a new job. It was much lower pay, but essentially school hours, so I was able to be there for our kids. Stella has been paying more of our joint expenses, but otherwise it's been fine. I wouldn't say the split has been firm, though. I do buy stuff for my stepchildren or pay when I take them all out. It's more the big payments that are separate. Brianna goes to a private high school. I was talking about high schools to my sister since Kira is in year 6, and I realized that I wouldn't be able to afford to send her with her sister on my current pay. My ex is barely willing to pay the cost of public school, let alone a private one. The school is so much better than the nearby public school, and I know Kira wants to go to her sister's school. So I tried to talk to Stella and asked if she'd be willing to help. It's education, and she's close with my daughters, so it's not like I'm asking to pay for something crazy. Stella refused, and I would have accepted it even though I was annoyed. But she went on to say that I knew we were split finances and I made my choice when I took the lower paid job. I got more time for less money, so I can't complain that I'm paid less. I got pretty upset about that. I didn't stay home for fun. It was for our family, our children. I loved my job, but I had to sacrifice it for them. It was worth it, of course, but still Stella said it was my decision, so tough luck that she's not going to finance me. I got angry with that and told her that she knew the consequences of her job so she could deal with her children. Then her money won't be used on mine, so I won't use my extra time on hers. They can stay in care until our old hours. Stella got angry back, accusing me of using her for money and calling me a complete idiot for suggesting what I did for my stepchildren. We argued pretty badly. She thinks I'm being greedy, selfish and petty, but it's not like I'm asking to mooch. I would still foot 50% and get my ex to contribute as much as I can get her to. Yes, it was my choice, but it was for all the children, for our family. Besides, I literally take care of my stepchildren more than my own 85% versus 50%. I'm not just being lazy or focusing on my children. I've been there for them all, so I think it's unfair for her to refuse to help, even a little. But obviously she thinks I'm being an idiot. You're an idiot. It is your and your ex-wife's responsibility to take care of your kids' education, just as it is your wife and her ex-husband's responsibility to take care of theirs. You aren't contributing anything to your stepkid's education. It was a low blow to tell your wife that you won't take care of her kids if she doesn't pay for your kids' education. If she wanted to play tit for tat, she could refuse to pay more than 50% of the bills and force you to get a higher paying job or even a second job. If you want your kids to go to private high school, hit up your ex to pony up the money. So his time spent looking after her kids means nothing. Isn't it up to her and her ex to provide childcare if she's willing to take advantage of his lower paid job for her gain as she doesn't have to pay for wraparound childcare? Isn't he entitled to some compensation for that? If you were a woman who quit to take care of the kids, everyone would talk about how much work being a stay-at-home parent is and how her efforts aren't being recognized. No, because she is now paying more household bills than he is. You're the idiot opus. Your wife is paying most of the bills because you decided to take another job. So it makes sense that you help her out with her kids. But she's not responsible for paying for your kid's private school. Your wife manages to pay for a family of 7 and pay for a private school for her kid all on her own. Why should she sacrifice and pay for your kid? Because of the decisions you and your ex made. You made a choice to have 3 kids and to take a less paying job. Okay, but you realize him taking the lower paid job for the better hours means he's also saving money for his kids when he has them and hers on childcare, right? It sounds like she's perfectly fine with the benefits this change brought them, but that she doesn't want to deal with the trade-offs on top of all this. It's for a better quality education, not something stupid. Now for the next story. A friend I went to college with, she is pregnant. She is super into organic holistic stuff. You know, she used to be in a climate crisis organization and volunteers for local eco groups. And she loves slow fashion. She's a first-time mom and planning to do the gentle parenting natural products deal. Shay's baby showers last week and she had a registry, but everything on it was super expensive. I'm at a hard spot with money and Shay knows it. And I can't drop a ton of money on wooden toys or an organic stroller. I didn't want to be empty-handed though, so on the day of Shay's shower, I showed up with an Amazon gift card and some cool organic soaps I got at Home Goods. It was all in a bag, so she didn't see what it was. The next day, she called me angry, saying I know that she doesn't support Amazon or anyone giving their money to Amazon. She says it's an inhumane company that exploits its workers and she was disappointed in me and that I shouldn't have purchased anything at all. I apologized, but she seemed hurt, acting like I barely knew her. I feel awful, but I thought gift cards were just like currency dressed up nowadays, and I couldn't afford some $300 gadget when I can barely afford to make myself 3 meals daily. So am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Call Shay. Tell her that you've been thinking about it and didn't realize that Amazon exploited its workers. Then explain to her that you're in the position of the workers she's trying to protect. The ones that live paycheck to paycheck and can't afford to survive on one job. Let her know that as your friend, you wish that she would apply the same expectations to herself and have affordable gifts for you to choose from, instead of putting you in the position of choosing and making a mistake. The reality is that being elitist isn't the way to help people like you, who she's trying so hard to fight for. You're the idiot. A baby registry is not a court summons. The friend wasn't upset that Opie went off the registry. The friend was upset Opie bought something from a company they're against. Opie could have gotten some other organic stuff or smaller wooden toys. The friend even said Opus didn't have to get anything. Opus could have given cash, assuming Opus knows about the friend being against Amazon. It is similar to giving a vegan a gift card to a butcher shop or someone with a dairy allergy to an ice cream place. An organic stroller. I'm sorry, I just can't get past this. If she was trying to be earth-friendly, she'd buy a used stroller. If she bought one at all. The reduce, reuse, recycle thing. I rage-baited myself into Googling organic strollers. This made me laugh hard, and I'm still trying to figure out whether it was meant to be snide or Opie genuinely doesn't understand what the word organic means. Listen, you know she's into organics, holistic stuff, slow fashion, etc. Why in the world would you think she would shop at Amazon? It feels almost passive-aggressive of you. I'm not going to say you're an idiot because maybe you didn't think it through. But sometimes it's better to not give anything than something that will offend the other person. Now for the last story. My wife, 33, and I, 34, male, have been together for about 7 years. She's a huge health nut, and one of the rooms in our apartment functions as a home gym for her to work out. Over the past few years, she's been spending more hours than ever working out and has managed to get herself visible. 6-pack abs and a pretty jacked body. On the other hand, I'm pretty skinny and barely ever work out. At first I was completely fine with my wife's new looks and she seemed extremely proud of herself. However, recently she's been wearing tank tops and crop tops when we go out in public, which I think she's doing to show off her muscles and abs. We sometimes get weird looks from strangers when we're outside together and I feel uncomfortable because of this. I told my wife about how I felt, but she just said to ignore those people. Recently, my friends have also been taunting me by saying things like, how does it feel knowing that your wife could easily beat you up? And does your wife carry you to bed when you're tired? This made me feel really ashamed of myself for some reason, so I decided to talk to my wife about it. I told her about what my friends were saying and asked her to lay down the weights for a while. She became a little angry as soon as I said this and replied that working out was her passion and she expected me to be more supportive of her. She said she wasn't going to bulk down just because of my insecurity. Am I an idiot? You're an idiot. Why are you not only friends with people who find it amusing to insult you, but prioritize their opinions over your wife's happiness? If you're unhappy that your wife is working out and is proud of her body, then don't be with her. She's correct. Your insecurities are not her problem and you should be supportive of your wife. She's working out and bettering herself. When we're fat, we're shamed. When we're skinny, we're ashamed. When we have muscles, we're ashamed. When we do surgery, we're lazy. When we don't, we should do surgery. Men like you are living arguments to be lesbian. Has it not occurred to you that she wears crop tops because it's hot outside and wants to be comfortable? It's like you think everything she does is for male approval, as if she's living in a novel written by a man. That's incredibly disturbing. Your wife is a person, not an extension of you. She doesn't exist to satisfy your fragile masculinity. She is a human being as real as you, not a display object, a toy or an ego boost. Appreciate your wife and upgrade your friends. Otherwise she's going to divorce you.